We are rocking at 100 miles per hour. Hold on to your eyebrows.
I can never sleep, I don't got too many days. Food for thought, feeding your success with the bass. I can't quit the game, gotta focus till I finish. I was in the cage, yeah. Now I know I'm living. They be working hard, trying to keep you in the chains. If you got your mind charged, you ain't gotta stay. Woo!
Welcome to the Sam Jones Talks podcast. This is episode 4, The Dangers of Being Weak. Yes, I said it. Weak. So I guess someone would say that's not politically correct. You shouldn't use the term weak. People go through challenges. Sure, I understand. But we're going to get into the word weak, and I'm going to tell you why I choose the word weak and why it's not good to be weak. So a funny thing happened to me on the way to a gig. Some of you may know I'm a musician, play instruments. Many moons ago, young Sam he got a gig and he was on the bus from New York. So you know that's how you rock if you're not on a train or taking a cab. I'm on the bus and I'm so nervous. I'm sweating bullets. I mean, like, I got sprinkler systems going off under my arm. I'm wet. I'm feeling nauseous. I mean, I've seen stuff like this on TV, but it never happened to me. I was so uncomfortable because the gig I was going to, I wasn't prepared for it. And it was a very important gig. That place where I was going to play was a very well-known place, and there was just a lot at stake. And that feeling, that discomfort was so shattering that it could have made it to where I never wanted to ever play again. That's how intense that moment was, because I wasn't prepared. I felt very weak in that moment. But here's what happened. That situation taught me something. Never go into a situation unprepared. Always be more prepared than the situation you're facing. And so what could have stopped me from playing and what could have discouraged me and broke me down became the wind under my wings. I made sure that what could have been a stumbling block, I turned it into a stepping stone. I stepped on that situation with my fear and me being scared and all the weakness, and I used it to propel myself forward. So I realized something very important about weakness. What failure does is it teaches the strong and it dismantles the weak. If you're a strong person, then failure helps you. Let's imagine failure was a dude, just a strong 6'3", 300-pound all muscle. And this dude, if you're strong, he's gonna help you. He'll break down walls and he'll support you and he'll protect you. And this is your dude. He got your back. If you're weak, this dude's gonna lump you up. Who would you rather be, the strong guy or the weak guy? Because failure is gonna treat you one way or the other based on who you are. So the strong people become stronger through failures. The weak people become weaker. And I'm not calling you a weakling. And here's the other thing. It's okay to experience weakness. You're human. I'm not telling you you're not going to experience it. But weakness is a rest stop. It's not a residence. It's a rest stop. You stop there for a second. You feel what you're feeling. You cry. You feel the pain. You know, all that stuff. You feel it. You own it. You understand it. Then you move on. It's a rest stop, not your residence. And many of us, we stay there. We stay in that weak state. We let the past situation, whatever we experienced that hurt us, we let it define us. And now when we go move forward, the opportunities that are in front of us, we can't even reach out and grab them because that weakness is a noose around our neck. So can you afford to be weak? Absolutely not. What's the definition of weak? Liable to break down under pressure. Man, you cannot be in a situation or in a mindset where pressure breaks you. You can't let it happen. Pressure is inevitable, without a doubt. But pressure, you have to decide whether or not the pressure is going to bust your pipes or the pressure is going to turn you into a diamond. It's actually a decision. Why is it that someone can come from the ghetto, stepping over crack rocks and fiends, and become successful, and other people in the ghetto become fiends? They were both exposed to the same situation, same lifestyle, same drug dealers, probably went to the same school. But the perspective and your attitude and how you view failure and how you view weakness is what is the differentiation between whether you're going to fail or succeed. So I don't buy into it's how you grew up. I don't buy it's the hood. I don't buy it's the man. Is it true? Are there institutions and situations in which snares are set up for you to fall? Absolutely. But if you fall, you got to get back up. I said this in one of the other podcasts. One thing I like about skateboarders is that they learn how to fall. Falling, failing, that weakness of tripping is part of the learning process, and it doesn't stop them. As a matter of fact, if you go on YouTube right now, you can find videos on how to fall. Man, that's deep. If you can master falling, you can master getting back up. The problem is some of us don't get back up, and I know it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. I know it's difficult. I know when you get a gut punch, a death in the family, or certain situations, sometimes we don't even know what our problem is because the problem happened when we were 3. It scarred us back then, and in the back of our minds, we don't know what it is, but we respond to it. I'm telling you, you can't be weak. And one of the ways to push past weakness is, 1, don't run from it. A lot of times, the way our brain is created, we have this fight or flight mentality. And most of us, we want to fly. Whenever a situation happens or it's uncomfortable, our brain, the way it works is it says, hey, there's something that's going to go on here. You need to safeguard yourself. Don't do it. Run back. Or it's too hot. Don't touch it. Or you may get hurt. Don't get involved. And the brain is trying to save you from hurt. You have to reprogram that brain to identify the possible stress, the problem, the issue, and then fight. That's the difference in people who succeed. You look at most fighters who do well, they trained to be able to fight. They learn how to deal with opposition. And the person who trained better and who has more skill, who has more instinct, they win the fight. Both fighters are in the same weight class. But it's what you were trained to do. It's how you were built that determines whether or not you can overcome that situation. So yes, number 1, feel the pain. You're not going to run from it. You're going to deal with it. You're going to cry the tears. You're going to identify what the issue is. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to learn to overlook the small things. Sometimes there's little things that happen to us, little problems, little issues that, even like forgiveness, may seem small, but when there's unforgiveness in your mind and in your heart, it's like a cancer. Slowly it spreads until it just stops you from moving. You can't even move forward because this thing is in your system. You haven't forgiven, you haven't gotten over it, and in some cases it's not as easy to let it go. Sometimes you have to work through it, but ultimately the goal is to be able to forgive and move forward. You got to be able to let things go. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to make an enemy out of everyone. You don't have to respond to every negative thing that's said. Sometimes you just got to let the little things go. My brother once told me that you have to be big enough to step over the little things. If you see a chihuahua and it's barking, you don't go and kick the chihuahua down the street. It's a chihuahua. You don't need to be that concerned. It's not a pit bull. It's a small thing. Let him bark. So that's the second thing. The other thing is, in being strong, is believing the truth. And I said this in the earlier podcast, there's no your truth. You can't define truth and live your truth. If you have a truth that's only true to you, then it might as well be in your imagination. Your truth, any real truth, is supported by other truths. Gravity, supported by other truths. The sun, me, being a male, is supported by several biological truths. And the fact that I look like other males and other species that have similar functions to me are called males, whether it's a dog or not. There's enough proof that I'm a male that it's a truth. I'm not a male in my mind. I'm a male because there's truths that support that. Unchangeable, unshifting truths. That's what you build your life on. The truth, never your truth. Man, that's good stuff. So when you believe the truth, then that affects how you deal with weakness. What is the truth? Are you capable? Are you strong? Can you make it? Is this obstacle going to make you fold? Or are you going to use this as a stepping stone? It's a challenge. It's hard. You want to give up. You want to cry. I identify with that. But are you going to make it? What's the truth about you? And if you start from a place of truth, that's a good way to make a self-assessment. And we're going to get into that in the next podcast. The only way to make a true self-assessment is to know the truth about yourself, or else you'll be lying to yourself, and you'll have people around you who do the same thing. They just lie and make you feel comfortable. And that creates a weakness. You've got to know what the truth is. So let's sum it up. Don't be afraid of negative things. Run right into the fire, like me with my armpits sweating and feeling nauseous. Run into the fire because it's going to teach you something. Learn to let go of the little things. Don't harbor things and keep them in your heart. It's like a cancer. It breaks you down and it creates weakness. Number 3, the most important thing, believe the truth. Resistance is not a bad thing. Resistance builds muscle. Ask anybody in the gym. The muscle breaks down, so that's the point at where it becomes weak. It breaks down, but then it builds up stronger. Imagine if every time you work out you get weaker. And that's what some of us experience. Every challenge we go through, every resistance we run into makes us weaker, pushes us back. Imagine if you changed your mindset on weakness and the challenges you go through actually made you stronger. What would you become in a year of consistent strength? Man. I think I'm going to wrap right there. But like I said earlier, you have to think about whether or not the pressure that comes in your life is going to bust your pipes or turn you into a diamond, because we all experience pressure. But it's what you do with that pressure that determines the trajectory of your life. Will pressure bust your pipes and make you weak, or will pressure make you strong like a diamond? You decide. Reach for the highest good. It's attainable. I'm going to see you real soon. Later. I think that's good right there.